So one thing that I started doing is when I go flying, I carry some cones with me. I found that when you, excuse me. Huh. Hey Jake, how's it going? It's about the 4th of July. I think you should start filming snowstorms about now, right?
Not quite. You know, we got probably another 2 weeks of summer before it starts snowing up here. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I got some time. I was just heading out. Golden hour is coming. So what's up?
I was wondering if you ever have to deal with onlookers and how you handle that when, when you're flying your drone and people come up, they start asking you questions, start maybe wondering if you're spying on them, stuff like that. Have you ever run into that, and how do you handle it?
Oh yeah, it's funny you should ask that question because I was just talking to my viewers about that. You know, when I go out flying in public, I used to try to hide and try to find a place where, people weren't gonna be so I could avoid people. But what I started doing now is I started carrying some of these orange traffic cones with me, just the little ones. And I put those up around my landing pad, and that seems to help with people coming and, the looky-loos or whatever, because, they really think that if there's cones up, there's something like serious going on. And, you would think the orange cones would attract people, but it actually keeps people away because they feel like there's something professional going on over there. Maybe I shouldn't approach them. So it's really worked out for me, only a couple of times, but it has worked. And if people ever do come up to me, I try to be as polite as possible. I try to, be as respectful, and I just let them know, please let me concentrate on my drone, just for safety reasons. And then I'll visit with you after I land. And then I also remind them that if they're going to get a little too close to the landing zone, they might get a haircut that they're not expecting. So yeah, just get a couple of those cones maybe, and then just be sure to have a landing pad that kind of designates, the drone area. I think that really helps.
Oh yeah, that's good advice. That makes sense. I'm gonna have to go get myself some cones, I guess.
Hey, I got a question for you. What's your opinion about registering your drone with the FAA? Is that something that you think we really need to do, or is that just big government trying to break us down?
Big government? Not quite. The FAA is really doing their best to try and handle a really rapidly evolving industry like with drones because, just a few short years ago, there wasn't really anything like drones that we have now out there that are so powerful and capable. And so they're just setting a process in place to try and keep the skies safe. And they're developing a process to try and make sure everybody who flies, whether you're flying drones or small planes, to keep everybody safe. And it is the law, so you do have to register, at least if you're in the U.S. Other countries obviously have different rules, but you do have to register in the U.S. and it's not a big deal. It only costs $5 to register as a hobbyist. If you find another site that tells you to register for $25 or $30 or $40, don't pay attention to that. You just go to faadronezone.faa.gov and it's $5. It takes 5 minutes. It's super fast and super easy.
Oh yeah, that totally makes sense.
So you've been flying for what, over 2 years now?
Yep, just coming up on 2.5 years.
So what were some of the most valuable things for you when you were first learning how to fly?
Well, I tell you what I did. I rolled up my sleeves, I put on my work pants, my work boots, and I sat down at the computer and started watching YouTube videos.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just like anything these days, if you want to learn how to do something, hop on YouTube, and more than likely somebody or many other people have done it already. There's so much information and so much education on YouTube on how to fly a drone.
Who did you watch? You got any good channel recommendations?
Who did I watch? Well, there's just so many to mention. I hate to tell you because I don't want to miss anybody. So I would say just do a YouTube search for how to fly a drone for the first time or something like that.
Yeah, YouTube is really amazing. I probably should get on there more,
Hey, speaking of YouTube, I was watching a video the other day and there was some guy using ND filters on his drone, and supposedly that helps you get more cinematic footage. Is that true, or is that just that guy just trying to sell you something?
Yeah, so as far as ND filters go, obviously you can film without them, but if you want to get really the best looking, smoothest, most cinematic looking video, then you're going to want to use ND filters because you want to keep your shutter speed about 2 times what your frame rate is. So if you're filming at 4K 30 or 4K 24, then you want to keep your shutter speed at 60 or at 50. And that'll give you the most smooth, most natural looking motion blur that you can get on your video, and it really, really will help improve the quality of your videos.
Oh, okay. Well, that totally makes sense.
Hey, so I was I was just curious if you remember when you first got your drone and you were so excited to fly it that you launched it inside your house and you almost killed your cat? Or is that too soon?
Yeah, good times, good times. No, seriously, that was probably the stupidest thing I've ever done with my drone. On day one, I put it up in the living room and pretty much almost decapitated the cat. Not knowing how to fly in a confined space, obstacles everywhere. It was quite the experience. So yeah, I definitely should have went out into a wide open space.
It might have been a better idea to have found a really big, wide open space with no obstacles and nobody around, so you could really practice flying your drone without risk of killing anything or crashing your drone.
In fact, just a couple of days after that, I drove out to this field, this great big field, no power lines, no buildings, no trees, no cars, no people, no nothing. And I just practiced flying my drone there. And I did that a few times. That really made me feel comfortable with flying the drone. If I had to do it all over again, I would do that from the very beginning.
Yeah, we've really come a long way since those first days of flying, right?
Yeah, I would say that for sure. You know, some of the mistakes that I made probably taught me some of the biggest lessons, and I'm still learning. I mean, every time I fly, I learn something new. And I'm just so glad that there's so many people out there teaching us and, you know, showing their mistakes so we can learn from them. There's a lot of great information out there on YouTube. So I really hope that more people get into this hobby and start making YouTube channels about it, because the more people we have involved, the more we can learn from each other, and it just makes this hobby even more fun.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, man, I better get back to flying. Golden hour is pretty much over, but I'm gonna try to get a little bit of footage in here. So,
Well, if you're interested in golden hour, you really should come to Alaska, because basically in the winter we have golden hour that lasts all day long when the sun sort of comes up over the mountains and stays really low and then, you know, sinks about 45 minutes later. It's really great.
yeah, that's true. You definitely have a lot more sunlight hours up there than we do here. So, all right, Jake, well, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Hey man, thanks a lot for the tips. I really appreciate it. I'll have fun flying, and I'll chat with you again soon.
Bye. All right, so if you want to learn even more tips on how to fly a drone as a beginner, head on over to Jake Sloan's channel. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. If you haven't checked him out, you really should. He does great product reviews, he has great tutorials. He lives in Alaska, so his footage is unparalleled. He has some great footage of our beautiful Earth. So head over to Jake, and we got some more tips over there for you. If you got anything out of this video, please click on that thumbs up button. If you have any questions about anything that was presented today, or if you have further questions about flying for the first time, put them down below in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. There really is so much to learn, and like I said, I truly am learning something every time that I fly. And so I'm sure you guys do have questions, and I'm happy to visit with you. So follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like Twitter, and just comment below, and some way we'll connect and I'll help you guys out. I want to thank you for watching today. As always, fly safe and fly smart.